Black Financial Channel. I hope you guys are having a good day. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School. And I thought that today would be a great day for us to talk about recent events in the stock market. What I'd like to do today is I would like to do a Q&A session where we could talk about what's happening in the market. You guys can ask me your questions, and I will answer the questions, and I'll also describe what I'm seeing here with the stock market and recent stock market behavior. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to send a text out to the rest of the tribe, let them know what we're up to, and invite them in. And if you have questions and you'd like to ask those questions, please put them in here. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. We have the Black Financial Channel. The Black Financial Channel gives daily financial news and commentary from a Black perspective. This is what we need in our community. We need more financial conversations because we want to be in on the great financial game. We know from people like Dr. Claude Anderson, who train us on topics like powernomics, that we live in a world that is built on global economic warfare. And so I encourage you to be alert and be aware of what's happening. This is a big week. This is a big week. It's a very scary week, for stock market investing, or it can be seen as a week of tremendous opportunity. There is a lot happening in the stock market right now. It's going crazy. I mean, today, in fact, you actually had the triggering of what is called a circuit breaker. And a circuit breaker is basically, it's kind of like if I heard a relationship therapist who said that when you get into a fight with your girlfriend or your wife or your husband or your boyfriend, that there's a point where, you got to call a timeout. You got to stop and walk away, go to your respective corners, because if you don't do that, then you're going to say something you regret because you're reacting in a hyper emotional way. So effectively, the circuit breaker is basically a mechanism that is designed to keep the market from overreacting. The stock market has, according to most research, and I did a lot of this research when I was working on my dissertation, most researchers will tell you that the market is prone to emotional overreactions. There's a debate in academia over whether or not, the market is rational or irrational. I'm going to say that there's a lot of irrationality there. I'm also going to say that my opinion had always been that media can drive some of that irrational behavior. Now, again, if I were sitting in a room with other academics who've done research on this topic, there would be a healthy debate. There are people who spent years when I was in grad school trying to convince me that the market doesn't overreact to things like, news media and stuff like that. And I just never believed it. It just wasn't. It's almost like the difference between being a Catholic versus being a Jew versus being a Christian. There's just stuff you just say, look, that's not what I believe, and that's what it is. You can show me proof and evidence, but there's a certain point where I'm just going to say, even though I can't prove it, I still am not convinced. And so effectively, the biggest culprits right now in the market, and I'm pulling up my phone here because everything keeps changing by the minute. And so the biggest culprits in the market appear to be oil prices. The Saudis and the Russians are fighting over oil. Basically, the Saudis, I guess, tried to, the Saudis are pretty gangster with it. So they were trying to push the Russians to participate in an OPEC agreed upon. OPEC is the Organization for Petroleum Exporting Countries. And they were trying to get the Russians to join them in restricting the supply of oil to boost the price because they felt that due to the economy sort of slipping from coronavirus fears, not the coronavirus, but coronavirus fears that are slowing the economy. Let's just be clear. It's not the coronavirus that was slowing the economy. It was the fear of the coronavirus that was doing it. So the biggest problem in our economy right now really is fear. So the fear of the coronavirus was leading to an economic slowdown, which was going to affect all the all the oil exporting countries. So OPEC said, hey, let's all just agree to restrict supply so that, we can keep our prices up and, and stuff like that and make more money. Well, the Russians were like, no, we're not with it. We're not with it. So the Saudis went out and just basically said, okay, you want to do that? Fine. We're going to go home and we're going to produce a ton of oil and we're going to murder the price of oil. So the price of oil dropped by about $11 a barrel overnight, which is about 25% of the price, if I'm not mistaken. And so the Saudis, so really instantly the global economy felt the shake. It's like, two big 300-pound guys who are arguing with each other about something, and then one of the guys just goes and tackles the other one, and then the whole building shakes because two big gigantic men are fighting. So the Saudis and the Russians got gangster with each other. The Russians said, we're not participating. The Saudis said, okay, fine, we're going to ramp up our production and we're going to drop the price, and we're going to hurt ourselves, but we're going to hurt you even more. And so now you're feeling that effect all throughout the world. The entire global economy rocked. All the markets around the world were rocked. American oil companies were body slammed by this. So many of those companies, and this is a scary thing because what I